Okay, I think we are live. Let me just make sure. Yes. All right. So, hey, everybody. I wanted to pop in today because I've been hearing from different people about what some of the challenges are around the holiday season. And if you're Canadian, the holiday season has already begun because our Thanksgiving is next week. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that and see if I can't make it a little easier for some of you. So I'm just going to adjust this so that I can see any questions that come in and any comments. Just give me 1 second here. So one of the things, I think the number one thing that people ask about is the food, where people are worried about what food they can eat because there are so many traditional dishes, and they're afraid that they're not going to be able to have recipes that. So please let me know if you can hear me, because I would hate to record this without anybody being able to hear me. So I have two things I want to talk about today. That's the number one thing, and I'll mention that after. But the second major issue that so many people ask about is, what do they do about others who are, and I'm not going to say trying, but people who push food on them. So people who ask you to eat foods that are not part of your candida diet or your healthy diet, whatever your personal food restrictions may be. So as an example, you go to a party and somebody offers you something and you say no thank you, and they go, why not? I made it. I made it especially for this party. Oh, come on, one bite won't hurt you. Just a little bit, really. How crazy do you have to be on your diet? Aren't you being a little bit extreme? And those kinds of things. So I want to talk about there. I think that there are actually two kinds of people who try to convince you or influence you to eat foods that are not good for you, and really which would require two different kinds of responses. So if you think about a spectrum, we have on the one hand people who really have your best interests at heart. And I'm just going to you may hear my dog barking any minute now because my husband is due home any minute. So on the one hand, you have people who really do have your interests at heart, and they want what's best for you. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have people who have their own interests at heart, right? So these are people whose actions are motivated by what they think is best for them. And it may not even always be a conscious decision. So if you're dealing with someone who has your best interests at heart, this is somebody who wants the best for you, and they're being genuine in their offer. They think this is something nice, that they're doing something, a kind act for you. Maybe they're offering you the pumpkin pie because they want to include you in the celebration. They want you to feel part of it, and they love you and they want you to be happy. So a person who really whose motivation is positive and genuine and loving, that's somebody who you don't want to dissuade, and you certainly don't want them to feel like they can't include you, right? So that's someone who is going to understand when you tell them your reasoning behind why you're eating this way, because they want the thing that's best for you. And if their motivation is to include you and have you be part of the party and part of the celebration, then you can share other ways that they might do that, and other ways that you can be part, or give them other suggestions for things that will be inclusive for everybody, right? But it's the other people, I think, who are the major issue for most of us. And these are people, if you think about it, why would someone ask you, knowing that you're on an anti-candida diet, or knowing that you're on a gluten-free diet, or knowing that you're on a sugar-free diet, why would somebody suggest to you that you eat something that isn't on your diet when they know your diet, right? Would that person offer an alcoholic a glass of wine? Would that person offer an heroin addict a shot of heroin? I don't think so. So there's something going on in that person's mind where they may not even consciously be aware that their actions are to make themselves feel better. And if you are aware of that when you're assessing the request for you to eat, or the urging for you to eat, then that can really change how you interact with that person. Because on the one hand, it's for someone who wants to make themselves, to validate what they're doing. I made this pie, it's delicious. If you accept it, that's going to tell me that I'm worth something. And then on the other hand, it may be someone for whom your deciding to be healthy and your dedication to your healthy diet only highlights for them the fact that they are not following a healthy diet, right? So when I was first on an anti-candida diet, I had a friend who really didn't want to socialize very much anymore together because every time we did, it was almost like she felt it was in her face how bad her diet was. And she didn't want to have to change her diet. So by me eating my healthy foods, it just made her feel that much clearer on what she should be doing, but wasn't doing. So when you're encountering somebody like that, if you can assess what is the motive, and you don't have to tell them, obviously, but I would look at it this way. If the motivation is heartfelt and positive and genuine, and they really want the outcome that's good for you, that's someone who's worth talking to and explaining the situation. If someone's motivation is simply to make themselves feel better, or even worse, if you think that they are aware of it and they just want you to fail so that they can feel like, oh, well, I'm not alone in this, then that's someone who certainly you can tell why you're eating the way you are and stick to your guns. But we don't have to be as concerned about someone at that end of the spectrum, because really, if someone doesn't have your best interests at heart, why would you really care what they thought when you said no, right? Who cares? So I would really look at what's behind that in that case and see if that makes a difference for you. And I think it can make a difference for how you feel about the offer of food as well. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to know what you think. Have you encountered people who try to push food on you? And how did you handle it? And what are some of your questions around that? Or what are some of your challenges or issues around that? And I can certainly talk more about this another time. And I had asked earlier also for any challenges that people have. I'd love to know, especially now that we're into like full on holiday season here in Canada. What are some of the challenges you have around the holidays? What are some of the things you would like help with? And I can help you with those. But when it comes to the food, I wanted to mention here, because I don't think I've done this yet, there's the Sweet Life Thanksgiving ebook, which is a digital cookbook that has a full Thanksgiving menu for you. So if you're concerned about what am I going to eat, and even more importantly, can I share my food with other people? Because I think that's a big challenge for people as well. This cookbook has you covered. You will get a full Thanksgiving menu from appetizer to dessert, and even a little something for brunch the next day on the long weekend. And for this year, only through to Thanksgiving, I've added 2 bonus recipes that I've been posting about on Instagram and people have been going gaga over. So I wanted to throw them in as an extra bonus for you as well. So there's a grain-free, egg-free, sugar-free, nut-free pumpkin breakfast cake, which I have been enjoying in the mornings very much. And that's on there, as well as a grain-free, sugar-free, egg-free, dairy-free, what else free, nut-free, pumpkin cheesy flatbread, which is great just as a flatbread to have as a side dish with your meals, but also you can sort of use it as a soft tortilla wrap and use it instead of sandwich bread if you're not eating bread right now because of the candida diet. So you can have that. So you just have to go to rickiheller.com/Thanksgiving ebook to grab your copy, and you will get the 2 bonus recipes as well. So that's going to really help you with the food aspect of it. And I hope that this also helps you with some of those challenges of dealing with other people in your life when it comes to the holidays. So let me know if that was useful, and let me know any other challenges that you have. Okay, everybody, I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you again next time. Have a great night, and see you soon.